I'm Tom Wahl. We're at Red Fern Farm near Wapello, Iowa. Red Fern Farm is a diversified fruit and nut farm with over 80 species. Chestnut is the most important, by far the most important. Other important crops on the farm include pawpaw, persimmon, heartnut, Asian pear, and honeyberry. My background is in natural resource conservation. I have a degree in fisheries and wildlife biology. Even back when I was still in college, I realized the vast majority of the problems that natural resource professionals have to deal with are a direct result of conventional agriculture. I wasn't satisfied with that. I decided agriculture needed to be reinvented in a manner that didn't cause all those problems. This is the result of all those efforts.
I'm Kathy Dice here at Red Fern Farm, and I do the bookkeeping, some of the grunt work, mowing, helping with the nursery, helping with general management of the farm, helping with customers, and general assistant manager of Red Fern Farm. When we started out, we called it Comprehensive Integrated Agroforestry because we were planting trees and harvesting perennial crops at many levels, the trees, the shrubs, and then even underneath the shrubs, things like echinacea and asparagus. And we even had a sublayer with ginseng and golden seal. We kind of walked away from the ginseng, but the golden seal. So we had a multi-story perennial crop going on. We're going for a really integrated approach. When we first started out, we tried to have just 10 trees of the same species in a block, and now we're even going alternate species. So like they'd be chestnuts, and then heartnut, or chestnut, persimmon, and then in the alternate row, arona berries, and then in a row after that, pawpaws, chestnuts. So we're trying to mimic the biodiversity you would see in nature. We're farming with trees.
A farm family could make a very good living on as little as 10 acres. Right now I'm making on our mature chestnut trees $10,000 an acre on a crop that I don't even have to harvest because the customers do just about all the work. And the only thing I have to do is mow the grass under the chestnuts before the nuts start dropping and then collect the money. So on 10 acres of chestnuts, theoretically, you could be earning $100,000 a year. If you add pawpaws under the chestnuts, you could double that. If you added honeyberries in between the rows of pawpaws and chestnuts, you could maybe increase that again by maybe another 50 to 100%.
It's not an annual crop where you can plant it this year and you'll harvest something in 2 to 4 months. You're talking about something that you're planting this year and you're caring for it for 2 to 3 years, just babying that thing, hoping that it's going to start to grow so that in 4 to 7 years, you're actually going to start to get a crop from it. And it won't maybe be till the 10th year that you're actually recovering the cost for those earlier 9 years. You're committed for a long haul.
Well, the first step in establishment is site selection, because not all fruits and nuts will grow in all kinds of soils. So we select the appropriate soil for a particular crop. The next step is site preparation. Depending on what's growing there, we may need to eliminate the vegetative cover and replace it with something that's compatible with trees, such as a mix of turf-type perennial ryegrass, fine-leaved fescue, and Dutch white clover, which makes a good ground cover that doesn't compete with trees and shrubs, but prevents other weeds from coming in. Doesn't need to be mowed very often, doesn't get very tall. The next step is tree planting, then immediately apply a 5-foot tall ventilated tree shelter. The tree shelter protects the newly planted trees from browsing by rabbits and deer, reduces mortality, makes the tree grow faster and start producing fruit or nuts years sooner than it would without a tree shelter. It also eliminates the need for pruning on the tree up to 5 feet tall. After that, maintenance consists of keeping the vegetation mowed short in between the tree rows to prevent mouse populations from building up, because if mice build up in tall grass, their favorite place to nest is inside tree shelters. And their favorite activity on a cold winter day, when they don't feel like going outside, is to gnaw on trees. To prevent that, we keep the vegetation short, which allows hawks, owls, foxes, coyotes, bobcats, mink, and weasels to keep the mouse population down to where the damage they do to the trees is negligible.
So you have to be really enjoying the work that you do. Love being outside, love time on a mower, and realize that what you're doing is going to be good for yourself and your family and the environment in the long run.